Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Wake Up Wednesday. So yes, I woke up this morning and decided that I wanted to be blonde. This is just an old wig that I've had for a while now. It's actually like gotten to the bad, like to the point where it's so bad, like it's so dry. I need to like condition it for like 500 days or something. But it was an old wig that I had. It was a black wig, and then I went to go and get it dyed blonde, and I just barely wore it because you guys know black is like the color, or dark brown is like the color that I wear all the time. So blonde was a massive shock when I first got it, and I was a bit like, I don't know if I can pull this off. I don't know if I like this. It's very, very, very blonde. For some reason, I woke up this morning and I was like, I don't want to put on any of my other wigs. I want to put on this wig, but it is very dry. So I do apologize if it looks dry on camera. The hair was really old anyway, and then when I went to go and get it like bleached, dyed, everything, it just killed, like literally just killed the hair. So I do apologize. Anyway, so I also have to apologize for the fact that there was no Wake Up Wednesday last week. Please, guys, forgive me. I am so sorry. But because I did not put up a Wake Up Wednesday last week, I decided that I'm actually going to give you guys something a bit special. I've decided that I'm going to extend the confidence is, or how to be more confident series, and I know there've already been 4 parts, but I'm going to give you guys one more part because I think this is something that truly does allow you to be more confident, to walk in your power, to walk in your strength. You guys hear me say it all the time, you know, I'm a confidence coach, and one of the things I always say to every single client, or to just everyone in general, is that each and every one of us has the capacity to be so great and to live such powerful existences, but because of life and life circumstances, because of certain things that happen, bad experiences, negative experiences that have impacted us, we literally shrink ourselves and we become so much smaller than we were actually created to be. But my aim is to, you know, whether it be through YouTube or through coaching or through speaking, to speak life into you so that you go to reclaim your power. You basically say, do you know what? No, I have this power and I have this ability and I have this greatness, and I'm not going to allow myself to shrink anymore. So yeah, I really do hope that you've kind of picked that up from the confidence series, but this is literally the final one. Something a little bit to add on top, okay, just to add the cherry on top. Now this is gonna sound so simple, but guys, it's often the very, very simple things that we tend to overlook, or seem to think that the answer is gonna be in some big explosive bang or some big massive word. No, it's very, very simple. Confidence is committing to you. Now, one thing you need to understand is that what you commit to, what you focus on, what you allow your energy to be taken up by, what you pour into, what you focus on for majority of the time, is what you end up manifesting. It just is the reality. That's why, you know, we even get people that you know, talk about the law of attraction and, you know, all of these different things, and that all essentially is, it comes from a space of what your mind is focusing on. If you don't already know, what goes on in here is way more powerful than a number of other things going on outside in the world, okay? Because once you start to discipline and train your mind, I'm telling you, other things just become natural. They become your sixth sense. They become just so easy and so convenient that even you start thinking, why did I never do it before? Your mind is a powerful tool. What you manifest in your mind is what you create in reality. That's why there's even this story that so our lead pastor, our church, is Apostle Toby. He was talking about one story about Walt Disney. You know Disney as a brand, right? So Walt Disney had this dream and this aspiration to create the fastest roller coaster ever, right? I think either in Europe or in the world, but he just had this desire in his mind to create the fastest roller coaster. And so he was sat one day at a bench, and he looked over to this massive space where he saw a mountain, and I think someone must have asked him, I don't know if I'm saying the story properly, but I think someone must have asked him, like, you know, what are you looking at, or like, what are you doing? And he said, you know, I'm looking at my mountain. I'm looking at the fastest roller coaster that I'm going to create. Now, years passed and he didn't live to see that fastest roller coaster being built. But when he now died, and they were basically doing like a memorial type situation where they were honoring him and they were giving speeches and they were cutting the bow tie, you know, to open up this fastest roller coaster, which was at the time the fastest fastest roller coaster again, either in the world or in Europe. They gave this speech about, you know, it's such a shame that, you know, Walt Disney never got to see it for himself, blah, 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 blah. And then his wife came up, and his wife said something very, very powerful. His wife said, everything that you've just said right now is a lie. And so people were like, what the hell, what do you mean? And she said, my husband, Walt Disney, may not necessarily be here, right now, to physically see what you guys all see, but he already saw the fastest roller coaster in the world or in Europe a very, very, very long time ago, because he already sat there years ago and he'd already envisioned what was already going to manifest into reality. What you think about, what you put your focus on, what you allow yourself to really, really take your focus, to take your energy, to take your heart, whatever it is, guys, that you focus on manifests into reality. It is just a fact. It is what you are putting your concentration, your energy on. Hence why people like Beyonce, who are like some of the greatest performers of all time, we watched, well, I'm sure that a lot of us watched the Homecoming video where she said that she literally, her team, the people rehearsed for 8 months. That is more than half of the year for, I think it was over, was it 1 day or 2 days? I don't know how long she performed, you know, how long Coachella goes on for, and you know, how often she performed, whatever, but she literally spent more than half of a year of her life focusing on that stage, focusing on the feel that she wanted people to experience, focusing on the visions, on the sound, on the instruments. She spent so much time focusing on that when she touched that stage, she manifested that greatness. She manifested the power that she knew that she carried as someone who has spent so much time dedicated to that thing. So I want to ask you as well, when was the last time you checked yourself to say, do you know what, I'm committing to me, or at least I am committed to me? Not in a selfish, I can't talk to anyone, I can't spend time with family and friends, I can't be around people, everyone must clear my ground, this is all about me, it's all about me. No, not in that way at all. But just committing to yourself enough to say, do you know what, I'm gonna do better. I may not have necessarily come from a rich household or the upper echelon, but do you know what, I'm going to work and I'm gonna dedicate, I'm gonna commit to me. I'm going to commit myself to me, to dedicate time to my craft, to dedicate time to my career, to dedicate time to my business, to my job, to whatever it is, in order for me to progress. Yes, I might not have necessarily been dealt the, you know, the nicest cards in life. Maybe in life I have been abused, I have been, you know, beaten down, I've been told that I was going to amount to nothing, but I'm going to commit to the version of me that I know I can be. I'm going to commit to the very best version of me. And no, I might not necessarily be there just yet. I might not have necessarily found myself in that position just yet, and it might take me a bit of time. It might take me a few months, it might take me a few years, it might take me a couple of decades, but guess what, I am going to commit to me, and I'm not going to stop until I get to that greater version of myself. Why? Because I deserve it. Why? Because I know that I was put on this planet to be great. Why? Because I am alive, and that itself shows that there is something of value in the inside of me, otherwise I wouldn't be here. When was the last time you really committed to you? And you have to commit to yourself. We spend so much time committing ourselves to other things, to other people, to other tasks, to other whatever, and sometimes it is our jobs. Sometimes you commit yourself to your job so much that you become that job. God forbid you're made redundant and lose that job. God forbid they sack you. God forbid you go under investigation and they say, do you know what, your job might not necessarily be there anymore. God forbid any of that stuff happens, because guess what? You will crumble. Why? Because you've literally committed everything. You've taken your all and put it into that job. But how about you actually sit down and tell yourself, you're not just that job. You're not just that career. You're not just the speaker. You know, I was having a really interesting conversation with Hayley Melinda. She's amazing. I talk about her all the time. I talk about her on my Instagram. I talk about her everywhere, just because I've grown so close to her. She's literally the sister that I never had. You know, I have a few really close girlfriends in my life who literally have changed my life. Like Mandy's another one. Mandy is just somebody who completely like just came at such the right time in my life. She's literally my sister as well, but these women are just incredible. But Hayley, you know, was a special guest on the webinar that I did on the 27th of this month. Massive shout out to every single person who came onto that webinar. It was all about reclaiming power over your mind. It was all about, you know, depression, mental health issues, issues, suicidal thoughts, attempted suicide, mind management, recovery, healing. It was about so many different things, and I invited Hayley because her story is so powerful. You know, she, in case you don't really know what Hayley's about, she is an award-winning international speaker, author, and a change agent, as she calls herself, because she believes in being the change that you want to see in the world. And yeah, I invited her to come on because in 2016, she literally shares this story all the time, where she says that in 2016 she was literally about to take her own life. She took pills out, she was depressed, she was just in such a bad, terrible state, and she was literally about to commit suicide, and she had to make a decision. She either was going to take her own life and she was just going to cut it there and then, or she was going to make a decision about the person that she was going to be. She was going to have to commit to herself. She chose to commit to herself. She chose that that wasn't going to be the end of her story. She chose that those painful situations weren't going to be the end of her. She had to make that decision. She committed to her. When was the last time you committed to yourself? Committing to yourself is where you find the absolute most confidence. I'm telling you now, the moment that you decide to commit to you decide to commit to your well-being, you decide to commit to your happiness, your joy, your peace, everything in the inside of you, your spirit, the moment that you decide to commit to you and actually be dedicated to walking in your greatness, be dedicated to walking in your power, be dedicated to changing things around, be dedicated to breaking off, you know, certain cycles that have been going on in your family. Maybe in the past, all of your family members in the past have never had a marriage that was successful, or maybe families in the past, you had generational curses where nobody was wealthy and everyone was in poverty and everyone was broke and everyone was poor. Once you start to commit to yourself, trust me, you'll become more confident, because you have no other choice but to be confident in you in order for you to move forward. You literally leave yourself no space for you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, I'm not, because you literally are committing to you. You realize that you are the vehicle that's going to get you from A to B. Now granted, 100%, God is the person that drives us. God is the one that allows us to do the things that we do. But at the same time, God gave you a brain, He gave you wisdom, He gave you so that you could do the work. You could do the things that you need to do in order for you to be the person He's always called for you to be. So until you commit to yourself, you will not become confident. Until you say to yourself, do you know what, I'm going to dedicate myself to me. I'm going to dedicate myself to being a better version of me. You will not become confident, because you will still be relying on other things, other sources, other places to gain your affirmations, to gain your positivity, to gain your strength, when rather you should be looking within. So learn to commit to you. I'm telling you, on the other side of committing to you is confidence. The moment that you say, I'm going to be greater, I'm going to be better, I'm going to make a shift, I'm not going to choose to let my pain and my misery consume me, but rather I'm going to break out and I'm going to commit to myself. I'm going to commit to my recovery. I'm going to commit to my healing. I'm going to commit to being better, is the moment you become more confident. So just try it. Commit to you. Say to yourself that you're going to commit to yourself today. You're going to allow yourself to be that best version of yourself. Anyway, guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed today's Wake Up Wednesday. So simple. So simple, but so necessary. Commit to you. Just allow yourself to change your perspective for just a moment. Change the way you perceive what's been happening in your life. Change the way that you look at your own life, and permit yourself to commit to you. I know that people have told you negative things. I know that people have told you that you couldn't amount to anything. I know that things have broken you in the past. Oh, trust me, I've been broken. When my best friend passed away, I think that's probably, I talk about it so much because I think that's like the most pinnacle moment where I literally felt like I wanted to die. That was if I've ever felt a level of depression, I genuinely can't say I felt depression before, and I don't want to claim it because I know there's genuinely people who do suffer from depression. I don't want to just be like, yeah, I suffer from depression. But if there's ever a time that I was in a dark place, that was my darkest place, my darkest moment. But I had to commit to me because I knew that there was something so much bigger than me that I had to do. I have a mission and I have to complete it. But unless I commit to myself, I won't be able to, you know? Anyway, I love you guys always. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And of course, I'll see you guys again next week for another Wake Up Wednesday. And guess what? We've got another series coming up. I'm super excited to share it with you guys, okay? So make sure you're back here same time next week. Stay beautiful.